everyone. I think we should wait a few more minutes so we can have more people joining us, but it's good to see all of you. And our speaker, Honorable Mrs. Mona Quarte, is already here, but Mona is a wealthy woman, not because of material wealth, but just also her willingness to share knowledge and wisdom. So her generosity of spirit, she's wealthy in spirit. She makes a lot of sacrifices for other people. The willingness to just hold other people and raise them up truly impresses me. And she is a really, really smart woman when it comes to financial wealth management. So it's a real privilege for me today to have Mona join us to come and talk about the wealthy woman. So many people think that this topic is going to be about how to make money. Money is a part of wealth, but I think there's so much more to wealth than money. But we're going to start off by asking you a few questions, and this is going to be a very interactive session. So I think the first question we're going to put out is, Teg, are you ready? What does money mean to you? Because that even helps Mona in the approach she's going to take in teaching us and empowering all of us. So what does money mean to you? One time, a very wise woman told me that every time you hold money in your hands, that money is one of two things. It's either a seed or it's a fruit. And when you identify what it is, that is when you know what use you should properly put it to. So every time you hold money, remember, it is either a fruit or it is a seed. If you eat your seed, you don't get any harvest. But you should always know that seeds are to be planted and fruits are to be eaten. The confusion around what it is creates a lot of poverty. But I don't want to do Mona's work. So first of all, we're starting with, what does money mean to you? And we'll be taking your answers and we'll be putting out polls throughout this session. But first, let's welcome Mona. Mona, we're clapping. Welcome. And thank you for doing this. I know you're going to be sharing some slides, so we'll use Tega's slot to share the slides, and you can talk to us through the slides. And if anyone has any questions during the presentation, please type it in the chat box. If we think it's really important, we would pause and we'll take it. Otherwise, we'll take all the questions at the end of Mona's presentation. We're going to keep it very simple, very informal, and very interactive. So Mona, over to you.
Hello, everyone. So good to see all of you. It's really a pleasure. Charlotte, thank you for inviting me into your web once again. I always love being in your web. It's cool. Yes. So once again, ladies, welcome to Thirsty Woman program for August. Like Charlotte said, we've been building up from January. We've been healing. So these are women who I can safely say are conscious women. These are women who know what they want in life and they're going for it. So this month of August, which is the Leo month, as it were, is a royal month. It's the time for us to not only be wealthy, but to feel wealthy as well. So here we see a young lady holding her bunch of 1s and 5s and 20s. In Ghana, we say kitwa bianswa. Doesn't matter how small the note is, it's still part of your stable. So let's go to the first slide, which begins to talk to us. So we begin by exploring truthfully what wealth means to each of us. And it begins in our minds. And when we start to think mind, we start to think being honest, being humble. And so I show a lady on her knees. And you know, many times when you just want to be you go on your knees. And it's just to connect back to the earth and feel that connection to Mother Earth and be true to your inner self. So today we're going to try and build the strength within us, and let's begin to explore our mindset. So when we talk about wealth, what is our currency, or what is our values for living life, being a wealthy person? Is that currency just cash? I know some people just like to watch their bank accounts grow. They look at their balances, and for them that's enough. It doesn't matter what they are wearing. It doesn't matter what they are eating. They could just be chewing gari, but just seeing their bank balance grow is big. Could it be material assets? Is it the number of cars you have, having a fleet? Is it houses? What is that? Is it shares? Is it bonds, T-bills, any material asset at all? For some people, is it children? Because children perhaps is their currency. Perhaps they need children for labor, or they need children to show off. In the culture that they come from, the number of children that you have shows your wealth. Is it marriage? I mean, there are people in this world who have money, they have power. All they want is marriage. That is what will complete them. For some people, it's family, it's status, it's network and connections. I know some influencers who live off network and connections. It's a currency for them. Is it power? Because you already have the money and you now just want to have the power to ask people to do certain things for you and so forth. Is it beauty? I mean, there are some who are just focused on beauty. Is it independence? Just being free? You know, it comes with responsibility, but that's what you want. Is it liberty? The liberty to do as you wish, to have enough to cover everything. For some people, they actually thrive on stress. And I know some people who go seeking for stressful times, and they say, I thrive on stress. Stress makes me go further. So again, is it shared prosperity? Is it not, perhaps it's not an item that is just for you, but it's an item that you want it to be enjoyed by a group of people, either your group of girls, or your city, or your town, or your nation. It's a prosperity that you want in the nation. I know when we talk about street kids and so forth, we all wish we didn't have street kids. We all wish we didn't have armed robbers and so forth. We wish everybody had enough not to do those things. So shared prosperity, love, peace, joy, those are big things, and those generate a certain feeling. So think about it. As we go along, you post your answers about what you believe that wealth is for you, because it's so specific to each person, is unique. What is wealth for me may not be the same for Charlotte, may not be the same for Tega, may not be the same for Yedwa. So let's all define what it means for us. Let's go to the next slide. So wealth for some people could be happiness. And you know, happiness is circumstantial, it's dynamic.
Yeah.
Today I'm so happy my daughter did well. Tomorrow my son is doing the wrong thing, and I'm like, oh. So it's ups and downs. Sometimes I'm happy, sometimes I'm not. Do we want a series of happy events all the time? In that case, when sadness comes, it will hit us bad. We need to have both to balance out. So happiness is a one-time thing, and we could go for it. Or would we be seeking joy? Joy is perpetual. It's the inner feeling that irrespective of circumstances, you have it. It's when you are stable. When you come and tell me that fire has razed down one of my properties, I can be joyful still. And it's inside me. I may not show it on my face, but I'm not faced because perhaps I've mitigated the risk with insurance. Or perhaps for me, it doesn't matter because I know in whom I've trusted, and I know I've got another one. So I'm stable. It doesn't matter at all. So let's go to the next slide, Tega. So what are our values, each and every one of us? Our values may be different, but let's help us identify these values by using the two great words, I am. I am. It can be I am mother, I am woman, I am wife, I am...
You remember when one of the sessions we did, I think it was on self-worth and identity, where we had the fingerprint thing and we had to write what we were. I think this is tying into that.
So put in what you see yourself as being, because that will determine your value. I am designer, I am creative, whatever, I am wonderful, I am friendly. You decide what that is, and let that come from your heart, from yourself, not from what Charlotte looks like, not from what I look like, but from yourself. Ask yourself another question. What and who are you worshiping or idolizing? You may find that you're worshiping perhaps your husband, your best friend. Oh, I adore you. Oh, this, oh, that. And you take it to another level where if you lose that person or that thing, you are totally broken.
It can be a job as well.
It can be your job. I've gone through a situation where I lost a job which I had personalized. And when I lost the job, I was broken. And then I realized that I couldn't be the job. But it took me a number of years.
Was tied to the job.
Yeah, it took me a number of years to disassociate my persona from that and to heal from the hurt of separation. So let's check out what and who we are worshiping. Who are those sitting on our altars? Is it truly just universe, God, Allah, our Lord and Savior? Or is it perhaps cash that is sitting on our altar? Or even our children who we are spoiling rotten? So let's think about that. Then another question is, what specific end goal do we desire? We all have different desires. I sometimes drive through Nima on the Kanda highway, and I'll see people who to me look like they need new clothes and they are walking and they are sweating, but they are cracking jokes and they are laughing and they are happy with their big family. And I'm like, my goodness, I wouldn't want to have 9 children. How will I pay for this and that? And I'm worried and I have frowns on my face. And they are smiling and laughing. So what specific end goals do we desire? It is definitely subjective. Think about it. Which end goal do you want? And then one of the things to think of when you're thinking of all this is, what is holding you back from achieving that desire? And for that, I know there are some go-getters in the world. Nothing really holds them back. But for many of us, all sorts of things hold us back. I don't have enough money. I can't talk. I'm too skinny. I'm too fat. I'm too this. So many things hold us back. Let's think about some of those things and actually write them down. Let's list them so that we can query those things that we say hold us back. Let's go.
Just a minute before we move on, because this is really important. Does this have to do, for instance, with unconscious biases, beliefs? So, for instance, there are people who actually believe that to be rich, to be financially wealthy, is a sin.
There are, Charlotte.
The Bible says, "Blessed are the poor in spirit," but they forget they're in spirit. But that can also be a belief that prevents you from getting wealthy because you believe that wealth is sinful.
I have heard people say dirty money, filthy money, money swine, money bugger. You know, in Ghana, we tend to say things. We insult money. And I'll speak about money in a minute. Money is an energy. It's a neutral energy, but it's an energy that empowers you to make change. And therefore, if you misuse that energy, it will become an evil energy. But if you treat it well, if you encourage it, if you welcome it, it can bring about positive change. And on another slide, I'll tell you exactly what money is so that you can put it in right context in terms of how you approach money, how you view money, and how you treat money. So let's all be careful what we say about money. The same way, many times we are told, don't say negative things to your children. Don't keep hitting them and saying, you're a bad child, you're a naughty child, because you are emphasizing a negative thing onto them. They are also spirits and energy by themselves. So it's the same with money. And Charlotte, you taught me one thing. You said even land is also an energy. Don't insult land. Don't be abusive about land. Even a nation, don't insult it.
Going back to your Nima example, the land in Nima and right across the land at Roman Ridge or Kanda is the same land. but it looks different. It has different value because of the treatment it has received. If you debase it, it loses value. If you speak negativity over the land, even in the Bible it says, O earth, record this man, hear, O earth. It's all that. So it is an energy, like you're saying. It can hear it, and it responds, and it has life. So what you put in, what you say over it, and how you treat it is how it responds. So if you go to the Roman rich side and you have nicely tended gardens and all the garbage is swept up and packed away, and you go across to the other side and it is the opposite treatment, you can see it in the values.
So what is holding you back? Let's talk about some of that. How we treat money, how we treat things. Let's talk about that. So let's go to the test. And we are doing the test even before we've gone into the steps of becoming wealthy. What does a wealthy woman do when trouble comes? Because that is when you are tested. I mean, even with law, what is the use of the law until there is a problem? Many times people say, what's the use for a contract? Why do I need to have a piece of paper to show that I'm married? Why do I need a piece of paper to show that I've purchased land or entered into an agreement with someone? It's not because of distrust, but it's because in the event that there is a problem, there will be a manual, an operating manual to guide how it's resolved. Again, for a wealthy woman, how do you behave when trouble comes? Will you be in the storm where you are thrown and tossed all about? Everyone you see, you start to tell them your sad story. Oh, and he did this to me, and she did that to me, and I'm sad, and I'm out and about, and you are giving your story out. You are just scattered all over the place with your emotions, all over the place with yourself. You're exposing your life and yourself. Or will you be in the eye of the storm? Meaning the storm will rage around you, but you will be stable in the eye. And in the eye of the storm is where there is no wind blowing around. In actual fact, it is still there. That is the place where you take your deep breath and you stay quiet. You neither judge good, bad, evil, whatever, but you just stay calm and quiet. That is when a lot of people will decide whether they will respect you or not, and whether you will even decide to respect yourself. I always think about this counterintuitive issue, which really is the solution. You are drowning. You are in a turbulent river or in a sea that is raging. What do? Most of us will start trying to swim and catch the reeds and throw our hands around. But apparently, if you remain calm, you will float. But where does the calm or not calm happen? It all happens in the mind. And that is why today our program begins with talking about our mindset. There needs to be a transformation of our minds before we can even go out there to seek for property, for money, for power and influence and all that. We need to start the transformation of
what you're saying is money is an energy. How you treat money determines how money treats you. And for you to even start making money, the first thing you need to fix is your mindset about money and wealth.
That's right. That's right. Exactly right, Charlotte.
Okay.
It is where you are at the point that Psalm 23 verse 4 is you. It is not a verse you even read. It's not a verse you shout out to, but it is you. You have personified it. I will fear no evil, for you are with me. You know in whom you've trusted. So there's no need to flay your hands around. There's no need to yab and talk. You fear no evil, even if it's standing right in front of you, because you know who is with you. And that is very important, no matter your religion. And for that purpose, today I'll use the word love or universe, because some people have different names for the same God that we all serve. So I'll use love. Because love is with you, because his banner over us is love, no matter what comes our way, we will not fear. And so this should be one of our cardinal guiding points in our lives.